Members, any questions for Senator Hall on Senate Bill 82? Senator Birdwell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know the bill deals with businesses. And so there's certainly a concern for private property right. First blush does not cause me to disagree with the bill. And I'm trying to think through some of the other aspects. Does the bill contemplate the precedent set for what happens in a private home that homes don't display a 30-06 sign, but if I'm injured at an event at a home, what's the precedent that this sets for that circumstance? Is the intent of the bill to eliminate the private property owner's ability to post the 30-06?
No.
Okay.
And the answer is no to your first question.
Okay. Well, I know the bill doesn't contemplate that, but you have to think second, third order of effects, because what I'm trying to contemplate is where's the balance between the property owner's right. Is it an implied, I may have to ask a resource witness, and I don't know if you have one from the Attorney General's office. Is it an implied contract that if I'm an individual that has concealed carry or permitless carry, go into a business with a 30-06 sign, am I accepting the risk? Is that the way law currently is structured, that I accept the risk of going in if something happens, and this is changing that risk? If it's a multiple shooting and I'm the first person shot, if I'm killed with the first bullet, and that's the first manifestation of the threat, is my right to sue different than people that may be threatened by the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, because the manifestation of the threat is different in its timing?
Those people would all be in the same. All those people would be in the same category.
They would all be in the same category.
As we read the bill, and having worked on the committee substitute.
Okay, I hadn't seen the committee sub.
I think the substitute will help you. So if I'm in Senator Hall, you correct me if I get this wrong, but under the committee substitute, if an event takes place on the premises, and there's litigation over someone being harmed, then if that happens and the premise owner is sued because of what happened, this bill would say that the fact that they did not allow folks to carry guns pursuant to the law, that could be offered as evidence against them. So the fact pattern might be you're there, and because there's a 30-06 and a 30-07, you left your gun in the car. You left your gun at home, weren't able to defend yourself. This is one possible scenario. You weren't able to defend yourself, and you were harmed, and you brought suit against the business owner saying, hey, because you put that sign up, I followed the law. I was not able to defend myself. Correct. But for your putting that sign up, I would have defended myself. Now, the committee sub does not say the premise owner is automatically liable, but it says the jury will be told. You can offer evidence. Okay. Hey, you put up this sign, you prevented me from defending myself. Doesn't mean the premise owner loses, but it means the jury must be given that information.
I think that's probably I'm not wording it well, but that was my concern, that is the bill treat the 30-06 sign as prima facie evidence of guilt?
And in this,
the property owner.
Go ahead. I wouldn't say it's prima facie evidence, but it's evidence that the jury will be given. And so, and it says under the sub, it's admissible as evidence in a trial on the merits in an action against the business owner in which the cause of action arises from serious bodily injury or death arising from a criminal act occurring on the property, and that evidence that the sign was put up supports a cause of action
Right.
for injury. So
that is-
it's evidence to show that it doesn't mean the premise owner loses, but it does mean this evidence will be presented to the jury.
Okay, so it's only, but that's only for civil suit. The 30-06 sign is not, this bill doesn't treat that as a criminal act, or the property owner is not in some way criminally liable, but only potentially civilly liable if they hear the evidence.
Senator, that's exactly right. Under the committee substitute, civil liability only. And again, we don't say who wins or who loses, but this does say that it's admissible evidence. It's admissible for the jury to see.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Did I get that close, Senator Hall, on the sign?
No, that's it. We're just looking at, as you well know,
Oh, yeah,
rights and responsibilities are two inseparable things. Like
Absolutely.
two sides of a coin. And just saying, if you're going to accept right to do this, you've got a responsibility here. That's all it's doing. It's an option. It's opened up. It tries to recognize the rights of both sides.
because I've had the same thought as you every time I walk into a 30-06, which isn't often, but I was like, what happens if something happens right now? And that's what I think the bill's trying to address, but I wanted to make sure that we're respecting the right of the property owner to still post the
Absolutely.
sign.
That's why we did it.
Because I'm trying to make sure, you got to protect both rights, property and right of self-preservation simultaneously, and that's what I'm,
Senator Birdwell, you'll recall that whole system with the 30-06 and 30-07 signs is designed to respect property rights and Second Amendment rights. It's supposed to strike that balance, right? And as Senator Hall, as you may all remember, back in 2019, the Senate passed Senate Bill 772. Senator Hall and I were both on that bill, Senate Bill 772, and that's the other side of the coin. That bill became law, and it says evidence of failure to forbid handguns. So let's say the same fact pattern, something takes place on the property and a handgun is used and someone is injured. If that person sues, the person who was injured sues the property owner, the fact that the property owner allowed legal handguns on the premises, that cannot be used against him. So we passed that in 2019. Senator Hall's bill today is the other side of that coin.
kind of the inverse aspect of it.
Yes, sir. That's how. Is that fair to say, Senator Hall? Is that a fair characterization of it?
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the clarifications. So appreciate the committee sub. Thank you, Senator.
Okay.